Wednesday morning, let's rise and shine. Separate your bed from your behind. Tell the stranger sleeping next to you to get the hell out, you've got things to do. Wednesday morning, the week's half done. Try to sober up, it's time to run. There's only 3 days left working from 9 to 5. Then it's party time. Party time. Just a little more work to do. Let's get on up and get the damn thing through. Then we'll get back to numbing our minds.
Yes, Hump Day is here, and the weather is improving, and we've got your chance to win freebies from the Sweet Stop and Sandwich Shop in Preston. Go to rockmornings.com and sign up for Workforce Wednesday. Very simple, easy to do, right there at the top of the page. You click the little picture, and you sign up. Tell us where you're working. Let us know. 3 ways and bad news, happy music, and friggin' sports. More spring cleaning crap.
Did I
Easy
see
busy.
78 for Friday?
Well, I see 71 in my forecast, so I guess it varies. But, yeah, it's going to be
Like 80?
warm. Yeah, noticeably warmer. 57-ish today with some clouds, and then up near 60 tomorrow with some clouds, and then partly cloudy on Friday with a high near 70. Somewhere in the 70 range. We'll get around there. Lots to get to. As I mentioned, Workforce Wednesday. Sign up for that online at rockmornings.com. Find all our contact info there as well. Listen to the show live, and, of course, like and subscribe to our podcast. We got some Lincoln Park in just a few minutes, and if you need something, let us know.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. More from Brian and Gene is coming up.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. No big surprise, but the website, 23andMe website, went down yesterday as people were frantically trying to delete all of their information after they announced they were going to file for bankruptcy.
I'm the California Attorney General. I'm also a consumer. It's a decision that's best for me to delete today. The private, sensitive data and information of 14 million consumers who have used 23andMe could get into the wrong hands.
That is the California Attorney General, Rob Bonta, talking about why he would delete the data on the website, but it did go down for a little while after everybody and their grandmother tried to log in and delete their data. Like they don't have it on a backup server somewhere. Too late, bro. The damage has been done. I don't know why anybody thinks deleting anything is going to matter. Perfect example, right? So my mom died last year, and one of the things that I did was try to go through like all of the websites that she had signed up for rewards for, right? I got access to her emails and all this other stuff, and I got her computer and everything. So I'm trying, like, over a course of time, I'm trying to like go in and unsubscribe to websites that she subscribed to. You know, you got a lot of times you create profiles and there's no real information. There was only a couple that had actual credit card information on it, but trying to cancel those things, right? And eventually a lot of that stuff will trickle down through the Social Security once they get the information that someone died. Anyways, like, you know, you cancel all that stuff and they still hammer you with emails and all that. It's, you know, it's a little too late, but yeah, apparently the website going down. No big surprise, but 23andMe's website back up. They had a message on a chatbot that said, high volume of inquiries and increased web traffic are the reason for the website being down and that they should reach out a bit later on. A couple of recalls. One of them in particular will affect Wisconsin. Coca-Cola issuing a recall of select soda packs due to foreign object contamination. Talking about plastic parts. The Coke brand initially recalling specific 12 packs of Coke 12-ounce cans earlier this month. And then on Monday, March 24th, earlier this week, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration classified it as a Class 2 recall, meaning that the risk is remote. 864 units of 12 packs, meaning somewhere around 10,000 cans, are included in the recall. The recalled products were distributed in Illinois and Wisconsin. The specific product codes and all that stuff can be found on the FDA's website. But Coca-Cola 12 packs of the 12-ounce cans, and that's just regular Coke, apparently, could be affected here in Wisconsin. The other recall is Ford. We were talking about the F-150s yesterday.
Trucks.
This is a different one. This is a recall of several vehicles in the Ford lineup, potentially driving forward while in reverse or neutral.
Well, that's a thing. That's bad.
According to the NHTSA, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, the recall includes certain 2024 to 2025 F-150s, Broncos, 2024 Rangers, 2025 Mustang, Explorer, and Aviator vehicles.
So these are brand new cars, basically.
Newish,
24
in the
to
last couple of
25.
days. Recall states that the transmission valve body may have been machined incorrectly, which can cause reverse gear failure or unexpected forward movement in reverse or in neutral. Ford dealers will replace the transmission main control valve body free of charge. To fix the issue, you can, of course, go online if you want to find out if your Ford vehicle is a part of that. But if you don't own anything in 2024 to 2025, you should be good to go. But obviously,
But if you do, talk to someone, because that sounds terrible to go forward in reverse.
yeah, well,
Very dangerous.
in a tight spot in a parking lot, you're trying to, ease your way out, and you've got a bunch of people walking around. I mean, every Tuesday and Thursday, I'm in a Gunderson parking lot, and I'm trying to. And I always got to park way at the end because I'm just like, I'm not going to mess around with all the
I'm
cars
just
coming and
thinking
going
about
and the old people and all that
Parents
stuff.
and kids, little
at a
kids in a
school.
driveway at a school dropping off. Just if you have a 24 or 25 Ford, look it up.
The river otters are still on the loose. Louie and Ophelia. Have you heard about them?
I have. They went rogue.
They went rogue. So it snowed and they got out and they're like, hell yeah, we're busting out of this joint. And they're still on the loose. They're still looking for them. This is in Green Bay, apparently. The new Zoo and Adventure Park in the Green Bay area.
Mm-hmm.
Louie and Ophelia weaseling their way out of their zoo enclosure last week during the snowstorm. They appeared on security camera footage cavorting across the snow. Search continuing this week. There's apparently a lot of wooded areas around the zoo, and so they could be anywhere. They're not too worried about people approaching them because the otters will probably get freaked out and run away, but both Louie and Ophelia don't appear to have gone too far. Their tracks show them exploring nearby bodies of water and returning to the zoo's perimeter every now and again.
Oh.
So they know that they're out and they know where home is, but maybe they just aren't going back at the right time. Footage released by the zoo shows an otter leaving the stoop of a building and launching itself into a belly slide on the snow. It's the undeniable bounce slide of the otter, said the zoo in a Facebook post. Louie and Ophelia expected to stay close because otters are territorial creatures, adding that their species are native to the area and capable of surviving, even though they're not in their enclosure and not in the zoo, with the local ponds and streams offering plenty of food and shelter. They have apparently hired a tracker. They've installed motion-activated cameras and public calls to send in photos and video of sightings to the critters. Reports of Louie and Ophelia have come along in videos and photos ever since their escape. People are seeing them around town.
I'm glad that they're seeing them.
Yeah, searchers are hoping that Louie and Ophelia are seen in the same location at least twice, giving the zoo a good place to search.
Good, I'm glad. They're
Today,
not food for an eagle or something like that.
Yeah. Today is the Jersey Mike Day of Giving. Their 15th annual. So 100% of the sales at Jersey Mike's from across the state of Wisconsin will go to the Special Olympics of Wisconsin. They've got 47 locations in Wisconsin, and they will give 100% of their sales to the Special Olympics of Wisconsin. I believe every single state that has Jersey Mike's does a different organization. It's part of their Mike's Month of Giving, and during the month of March, customers can round up their purchase to the nearest dollar for an additional donation. Since 2011, the Month of Giving has raised more than $113 million, with a record $25 million raised last year. This year, they're hoping to break that record-setting number. We, as an organization, are just really thankful for this partnership. It's a huge deal for us to have such a strong community, mission-driven folks that we partner with in our community, said Jay Massar of the Special Olympics of Wisconsin. So, again, if you're looking for lunch or dinner or a snack, or maybe you just want to donate Jersey Mike's in the state of Wisconsin, the Day of Giving, it's 100% of their sales going to the Special Olympics of Wisconsin, which, of course, is a very impactful organization in our community.
We just recently met that lifelong athlete from the Special Olympics that came in here. Man, was she interesting.
Was she like in her 50s or 60s, I believe?
She's in her 60s, and she's been a Special Olympian her whole life, and she competes in a number of different sports.
Every sport. I couldn't get her to stop talking about all the sports she was competing in.
For real.
Crazy.
It was basketball and cornhole, and what else did she... It was just a lot, but you could tell that was her passion. It was her life. It gave her... a sense of team. It gave her a sense of belonging. It gave her exercise. It gave her a positive outlook. She was a true athlete, and it was through the Special Olympics. A lifelong athlete, by the way. Lifelong. It's so cool.
And sadly, in Sheboygan, Wisconsin, the Humane Society there has been dealing with death threats after it euthanized one of its longest resident dogs. The dog's name, Pork Chop. Executive Director David Diaz said, quote, "We are dealing with little souls in crisis." Pork Chop was surrendered to the Humane Society in Sheboygan and was sheltered there for 8 months. Veterinarian Andy Saunders said, quote, "In a shelter environment, they decline mentally. Some dogs, you only have a few days before they start to show mental changes. My interactions with Pork Chop were never anything but positive." Saunders had a special bond with the dog, but unfortunately he didn't do well cooped up and around other dogs. It was to the point that he was hurting himself. He would run into the kennel with his face. "We'd come into a kennel full of blood," said veterinarian Andy Saunders. The shelter team said it had exhausted all the options from training and anxiety medication to fosters and adopters. Then they decided to euthanize Pork Chop. The word got around on social media, sparking outrage in the comments. Some people said it made them sick, saying it's not fair. Others went a little bit further. Diaz, the executive director at the Sheboygan Humane Society, said, "To receive death threats and threats for the physical well-being of staff here from people who are just reading something that is inflammatory on social media, to me, is just unacceptable. We won't stand for that." A lot of people, though, want to know why this happened in a no-kill shelter. Saunders, the veterinarian, said, "No-kill does not mean no euthanasia. No-kill means we're not going to euthanize for space or treatable conditions." A shelter with that designation has to save at least 90% of the animals it receives. Sheboygan County, by the way, 98%. So above and beyond and pretty damn close. And look, I don't ever want to put my dogs down. My wife and I struggle with it every single time. But you have to make the right decision for the animal. And I get it. You read no kill and you're like, they don't kill any animals. That's not the case.
Well, and 98%, right? So, and those people work in a environment.
Anybody who's ever adopted or fostered knows some dogs it just isn't going to work. They've been so badly damaged, or their life has been so terrible. Think of the Michael Vick dogs. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of those dogs had to be put down. They just were not in any sort of shape to be fostered or adopted or given to other people. It sucks. It's not good. I hate it, but it doesn't mean that it's not the right thing to do.
And it doesn't mean that then you can make death threats on people who give their lives to working with
and they're not
rescued animals.
They're not getting paid well.
They're not getting rich doing that.
They're not getting rich. It's a labor of love.
And whatever. I can say a lot of things. But.
Not surprising that people on the internet would overreact.
Well, and then threaten the lives of human beings because of that? Have you fostered? Have you donated?
Right.
Have
Why don't you go there and pick up Pork Chop then? Go pick up Pork Chop. You know what I mean? When the dog's been there 8 months, and I'm sure they are constantly asking for people to adopt or foster this dog, why don't you be one of those people?
Because it's just easier
easier to make death threats. I get it. Gross, though. I feel for those people. Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. We'll get to sports in a couple of minutes. Right now, it's Lincoln Park.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
The Bucks finish up their 5-game West Coast road trip in Denver tonight at 8 o'clock against the Nuggets. Unfortunately, they'll be without Damian Lillard for the foreseeable future. Diagnosed with deep vein thrombosis, also known as a blood clot, in his right calf. That'll sideline him indefinitely. Lillard on blood-thinning medication, which has stabilized the clot, according to the team. Went through a series of meetings with specialists over the last several days to diagnose and figure out what the treatment plan is going to be. But he'll be out for the foreseeable future. I think there's 10 games left in the regular season. And, of course, the playoffs get started. Bucks essentially a shoe-in to make the playoffs.
That's impactful, though.
They're going to need Damian Lillard at some point. The Washington Capitals lost to the Winnipeg Jets 3-2 last night, but...
Nice pass. Ovechkin scores! Alex Ovechkin, 889. Washington 2-all.
Tied it up with his 889th goal of his career, now 6 away from breaking Wayne Gretzky's NHL record. Ovechkin posted the tying goal in the third period to help the Caps force overtime, also gaining a point, but ended up losing in OT to Winnipeg. The Sweet 16 Starts tomorrow night at 6 on CBS with number 6 BYU taking on number 2 Alabama. Number 4 Maryland will take on number 1 Florida at 6:30. That game on TBS and True TV. Then you've got number 4 Arizona and number 1 Duke at 8:30 on CBS. And then finally number 10 Arkansas taking on number 3 Texas Tech at 9 p.m. on CBS or TBS and True TV. Of course, tomorrow is also Major League Baseball opening day. Kicks off at 2 on ESPN with the Brewers at the Yankees. Looks like sunshine and a high of about 51, so not too bad. But everybody's playing tomorrow. All the teams, at least they're scheduled to play. Just got my MLB.TV subscription confirmed. Thank you very much, T-Mobile. Get it for free every season. Love it.
Is that the thing? Okay.
Hell yeah, baby. Hell yeah. Be sitting at home watching some baseball tomorrow. Having some hot dogs and drinking some beers. Can't wait. And weather-wise, it won't be too bad in our area. Going to open up the windows. 57 today, 59 tomorrow. Looks like in the 70s on Friday. Yeah. Be on the lookout. Going to be a lot more motorcycles out. At least on Friday. Saturday, not so much.
Yeah, and then it gets cooler again for up and down roller coaster.
Sports on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. We'll get to some Seether in a bit, and if you need something, find all our contact info online at rockmornings.com.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene on your rock station.
Uh-oh. Guess what day it is? Julie. Huh? Julie. Huh? Guess what day it is? Julie. Huh? Julie. Huh? Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Anybody? Anybody? Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Anybody? Anybody? Mike. Huh? What day is it, Mike? Huh? Woo-hoo! Mike. Huh? What day is it, Mike? Huh? Oh, come on. I know you can hear me. Leslie, guess what today is? Leslie, guess what today is? Leslie, guess what today is? Leslie, guess what today is?
It's Hump Day.
It's Hump Day.
Hump Day!
It is Hump Day, and we've got your chance to win freebies from the Sweet Stop and Sandwich Shop in Preston. Go to our website, rockmornings.com, and sign up. Let us know where you're working. If you're throwing trash cans for a living, if you're digging ditches, if you're working on the river, washing windows, fixing bikes, serving breakfast. Whatever it is you're doing, let us know. Workforce Wednesday, your chance to score freebies, courtesy of the Sweet Stop and Sandwich Shop in Preston.
Sometimes this is seen as, well, it's Hump Day, but sometimes it's a midweek slump because you're halfway to the weekend, and other times it's good. It's
sad.
It's that
Here we go.
You're over the you're.
Well, I think especially a week like this week where the weather wasn't so great at the start, but it's fantastic at the finish. So you're like, hell yeah, mindset is Friday. Today, by the way, Live Long and Prosper Day.
I'm better on one hand than I am on the other.
That's what she said. It's
this one I can do.
Leonard Nimoy born on this day.
This one is the struggle bus.
Today is would have been Leonard Nimoy's birthday. Of course, played Spock, and so Live Long and Prosper Day. National Spinach Day.
Why are you making that? You don't like spinach?
Not by itself. I mean, you put it in some cheese and some artichoke. Now
That's
you're talking.
good. Cream spinach as a side dish to a steak?
Nah.
No?
I would never choose spinach as a
man,
side.
I would too.
Never.
Cream spinach
Now,
with
you
the
give me
steak?
like a spinach dip or spinach with some cheese in a dough or something like that. Some sort of, or in a quiche with some
that's
eggs.
basically cream spinach. It's like, you've had it before, right? It's like cream and nutmeg and like cheesy
No, I don't want it.
goodness as a
No,
side dish.
I want it in a quiche with some eggs and some sausage and some crust.
Okay.
And some cheese. I mean, that's not
and a
cream
bread
spinach.
bowl.
Manatee Appreciation Day and National Nougat Day. What the hell is nougat?
It's
like sugar, right? Some form of sugar.
It's a filling. See, I'd take it in Snickers. I like it in a Snickers.
So yeah, Live Long and Prosper Day, National Spinach Day, Manatee Appreciation Day, and National Nougat Day.
You ever seen a manatee with your own
Not
eyes?
in
real
person,
life?
no.
Me
On the internet, obviously,
either.
but
Me either.
I see them all the time down in Florida with people that paddleboard. And they're in those like
I know,
shallow
that'd be
rivers,
great,
and they're just like
wouldn't it?
hanging out right underneath them. Apparently, they're pretty docile, from what I heard.
Be nice to meet one.
Television tonight, you've got, of course, the Bucks. They are the late game. I'm not sure if they'll be on NBA TV or ESPN Plus, but they're in Denver, final game of their West Coast road trip. The 7th season premiere of The Conners tonight on ABC. I believe this is the final season of that show. Meanwhile, over on PBS tonight, the series premiere of The Future of Nature, narrated by Uma Thurman.
Imagine carbon stored in nature on an incredible scale. Looking after it is essential because our future depends on the future of nature.
Yeah, nature docuseries. Talking about animals and carbon and our footprint and all that crap. It's called The Future of Nature. It's on PBS tonight. Uma Thurman, the narrator of that. Also today, the series premiere of The Grudge on Vice. This is not based on the movie series. It's about famous rivalries in sports, and the very first episode will be about Kobe Bryant and Shaq.
Shaq versus Kobe, Clemens versus Piazza, Rogers versus Favre. Behind every burning rivalry is a smoldering grudge.
Shaq and Kobe said it's either me or him.
Aaron goes up to Brett and says, "Good morning, Grandpa." There was no turning back.
He throws a 100-mile-an-hour ball, knocks Piazza down. The Mets wanted revenge.
I hit him hard. People wanted this man dead.
Woo! It's going to be insane.
The series premiere of The Grudge on Vice tonight at 9 p.m. And there is, as you heard, an episode about Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers scheduled. Everybody's Alive with John Mulaney on Netflix tonight. Pete Davidson, Henry Winkler, and music from Mannequin Pussy.
Eclectic.
I didn't even Google him. I got to be honest. I saw the name and that was enough. I don't know anything about Mannequin Poontang, but apparently they're playing on Everybody's Alive with John Mulaney on Netflix tonight at 9. Also on Netflix, the series premiere of $1 Million Secret. It's a competition series where undercover millionaires must keep their identity secret to win the game. Don't you already win when you're a millionaire? You've already won. Are they with billionaires? Is that
I don't know.
So a billionaire has to find out who the poor millionaire is? Look at this poor guy. The series premiere of The Studio on Apple TV Plus. Seth Rogen is the newly appointed head of a studio and desperate for the approval of celebrities. Also stars Catherine O'Hara and Catherine Hahn. It's called The Studio, and it premieres today on Apple TV Plus. Streaming premiere of Mufasa, The Lion King on Disney Plus. Also on TV tonight, you've got Survivor, The Masked Singer, Abbott Elementary, The Floor, and The Amazing Race. Ed Sheeran going to be on with Jimmy Fallon along with Penn and Teller. Did you see Ed Sheeran showed up at a bar in Boston on St. Patty's Day and just played like a free set for all the people getting St. Patty's Day wasted?
Not, but I saw that him and Elton John were running a campaign basically and donating tons of money for music programs in elementary schools in London and England and keeping the programs that were underfunded afloat, which I thought was super cool.
Kimmel's got Carey Mulligan, Michelle Monaghan, and Cameron Winter, and then Seth Rogen will be on with Stephen Colbert later on tonight. That's what's on the boob tube. I watched that Den of Thieves movie. The first one, not the second one, yesterday. Gerard Butler and Ice Cube's kid, O'Shea Jackson.
Was it good?
50 Cent's in that. It was okay. I mean, it's a cops and robbers movie. So. It was all right. It wasn't bad. The new one, the Den of Thieves 2, just I think hit Netflix the other day. So I saw it when I was perusing, and I'm like, I should probably watch the first one and make sure I know who these people are before I go and watch the second one. Yeah. Did you catch anything last night? Or no?
Nothing on TV at all.
No Yellow Jackets? No.
Nothing.
No Ted Lasso? Nothing. Jeez. As I mentioned today, of course, the Live Long and Prosper Day. Leonard Nimoy, born on this day in 1931. Spock, live long and prosper.
See, better on the left.
Also on this day, in 1980, Van Halen dropping their third studio album, Women and Children First, featuring Everybody Wants Some.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene on your rock station.
March 26th of 1980, Women and Children First, Van Halen's third studio album featuring Everybody Wants Some.
David Lee Roth has his first shows scheduled since 2020. He will appear May 3rd. That's at the M3 Rock Festival in Columbia, Maryland. And then apparently now has announced he'll play at Mountain Winery in Saratoga,
Is that like
California.
I thought I saw that the other. Isn't it some sort of like wine? It's a festival, right? It's not like a winery. I mean, it's it's at a winery, but it's an actual
festival.
Yeah,
and tickets on sale for those. Not the I
don't have that much desire to see
March
David
March 28th, so Friday.
I'm good. I'll always remember that song from Better Off Dead. John Cusack working at the burger shop, and the burger and the fries come to life while the song's playing, and the burger's like playing the Eddie Vedder guitar. And Pickles, my guy Pickles sent me a Facebook message, said Den of Thieves 2, not as good as the first, probably going to be a third. Yeah, that's no surprise. Cheryl sent in a video, said, just when you thought you were safe in the cage. It's a video. This is what I was watching. You were asking me, what the hell are you watching? It was a video. I've seen this many, many times. People always send me shark videos. So, they got the cage. Cage goes in the water, sharks in the water, shark, the whole thing. So people can do this as some sort of activity when they go to Mexico, right?
Yeah,
the cage is in the water. The shark's having himself a day. Gets somehow from outside the cage, inside the cage. At one point, there was somebody in the cage because the top of the cage opens up from inside the water. So this cage is
submerged,
almost fully submerged. You can kind of see the top of it on the top of the water. The shark comes along and is thrashing around. The top of the cage comes open like someone's going to pop out. And then the next thing you know, like 30 seconds later, the shark comes up through the hole where the cage opened up. So somehow he got into the cage and then came out that way as opposed to staying outside the cage. And somebody in the video is like, was there anybody in the cage? Number one, I'm never going in the ocean. Number two, I'm not going in a cage. Number three, if you go in a cage in the ocean and you get eaten by a shark, then you deserved it. You earned it. That's on you, bro. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Okay, this mountain winery might be my new...
Your new favorite jam?
My
Sonoma?
dream trip.
Is it Sonoma?
It's like Red Rocks, only it's at a winery.
Oh, snap. Look at that.
And dude,
it looks like the Alamo.
everybody is playing there. Watch this.
Where is it?
Night. Look at this at
Hell
night.
yeah. Where is it?
Well, it's in California. Saratoga, California. But look at these pictures. It is like the winery it's called. And the lineup is, look at this one here at night. Watch this. Look.
That's
look
beautiful.
at all the people and stuff.
Yeah, but then you got to go to California. That place sucks.
Yeah, but if you're there, man, it looks like if you're taking a vacation, everyone is playing there on this concert series. It is individual shows, not a festival.
Got a text from Ogre, said you're an old soul, brother, cavorting. I haven't heard that term in a long time. Well, I'm almost 50, so I'm not young. The average expected life expectancy of an American male, a white American male, is like what, 76, 74? So yeah, I'm way on the back half here. And then he tried to say I'm young because he's 61. Just because you're older than me doesn't mean that I'm young, you big stupid old grandfather.
Rick Springfield, Lost Lonely Boys, Blues Traveler, Gin Blossoms, Trampled by Turtles, Air Supply.
Is that all on the same date?
No, this is, like I said, it's basically a show. Trevor Noah is going to perform there, it looks like. Chicago, Jackson Browne, David Lee Roth. I mean, it goes on and on and on and on and on.
Also got a text from Jim, said he's going to Boston this summer for a game. One of my bucket list items is to see the Green Monster. I told him to take the tour while he's there. There's so much, obviously, to do in Boston, but if he can take the tour of Fenway, I advise it. It's a good one. Enjoy the game. Major League Baseball opening day tomorrow.
Do you take your dirt out?
I have it in a...
I know, in an Advil container
on my...
Does that come out tomorrow, like on the first day of baseball?
I'm not like rubbing it on myself or anything like that.
Do you shake it around or it's dirt?
I just have it. It's just I have it, and I don't know. It was a thing, and I don't do anything with it.
Your dirt from the ballpark, isn't that it?
From Fenway.
Well,
right along the first base side. This was before they installed the nets that went all the way down. So you could go along the net and you could kind of, and the walls, it's only up to your waist. You could kind of reach over. So I reached over and grabbed a handful of it and I just put it in my pocket. And then when I got back to my truck, I put the sand or the dirt in the Advil bottle.
I feel like you should do something with it. It's just sitting in a box.
No, it's on my dresser downstairs where I got a bunch of clothes and stuff. I have so much crap. At some point, I've got to do something with all the crap I got. Yeah.
Well, tomorrow, maybe get it out and not just an Advil, but write on it, dirt from Fenway, so someone knows. I know
what it is. I'm the only person that needs to know. It holds a special place in my heart. It's okay. Offspring in just a couple minutes. If you need something, find us online at rockmornings.com.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
Offspring come out and play on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. This is crazy. Alaska. The wide open country where things can get lost in an instant. The plane goes down. You may never find it. It's untamed. And a single engine plane, small guy, went missing on Sunday in Alaska with the pilot and 2 juveniles on board, 2 kids. But a bunch of other pilots apparently went out looking for him after they saw a post on social media. Found him alive the very next morning. They crash landed on a frozen lake 80 miles southwest of Anchorage. They were stranded there on the frozen lake for 12 hours. But apparently everybody's doing okay. All 3 treated for non-life-threatening injuries. The pilot's dad praising the community for getting out there and saving them. My guess is that a lot of people in Alaska fly to different places in their small planes and so know all too well what could go wrong.
SOS, go find these guys.
A family friend had posted a call for help on Facebook.
I saw the Facebook post about the missing plane. Decided to go look for it. So I was probably halfway there. I had barely even started looking, and somebody came on the radio and said that they found them, and they were alive. They were walking around. So I called the troopers immediately because I was still in cell service, and I knew there was a really good chance that the guy that had found him was not in cell service. Got him the info. Got the C-130 out there and got the helicopter.
That is Dale Eicher, one of the Good Samaritans, talking about helping out in the rescue efforts. Pilot and 2 juveniles in a Piper PA-12 Super Cruiser reported overdue on Sunday night were found alive Monday amid the wreckage only 12 hours after they had gone down. John Morris, the father of the pilot, told the Alaska news source earlier on Monday that the plane was found with all 3 missing people alive. Apparently the kids were elementary and middle school ages, so young. Troopers reported that Good Samaritans found the plane and the wreckage after it had been reported overdue at about 10:30 on Sunday night.
Sounds like they went out sightseeing and then crash landed on this frozen lake, and they were overdue. Somebody put a call out on social media. 420 shares later, they've got other pilots out.
Have you seen the picture of the plane in the middle of this lake? I mean, it is literally nowhere. There's nothing but rock, mountain walls all around, and ice. I mean, it's just, you're not going to see that from shore kind of thing. I mean, that's just, you got to be up in the air. You got to have drones or whatever.
How long can you be in those conditions?
Oh, yeah. 12 hours might be max. Might be maxing it out. But all's well that ends well. I got a message the other day from Gabriel, excuse me. Gabriel. Said, I tried explaining to my boys, younger boys, who Arnold Schwarzenegger is. I told them you do a great impersonation after I failed. Goodness. Can you humor us this morning? That was on Monday. And apparently he had already dropped the boys off at school. And he just said that I've got you on the radio for about 20 minutes with the boys.
Was he able to watch a movie with them or something where he could put it into context other than just the impersonation? Or are you just doing a voice? I mean, can he say, hey, here's Gene, what I was talking about?
All I know is that the plan is to get your ass to Mars.
No,
this is the plan.
That's not it.
Get your ass to Mars.
No. Get your ass to Mars.
That's not it.
You know what you need to do right now, Gene?
I don't know. Get some air, probably.
You need to talk to the hand.
Talk to the hand.
Talk to the hand.
That's what it is. Okay.
What did Shakespeare say? To be or not to be?
To be or not to be?
Not to be.
Not to be.
Maybe watch a movie with them or a couple movies.
I have a very important question for you, Gene. Who is your daddy and what does he do?
We're going to play a wonderful game called Who is Your Daddy and What Does He Do?
I mean, you could do an action movie, obviously, that's mostly, but then There's
Kindergarten
also
Cop.
the comedies, right? The
You could do
twins and the
well, you got young kids. You got to do Kindergarten Cop.
Yeah,
you got to do some Kindergarten Cop.
That's what you have
Can't
to do.
go. You are mine now. Your tushies are mine.
You are mine now. You belong to me.
And then
you're not gonna have your mommy stand behind you anymore and wipe your little tushies. No more complaining. No more Mr. Kimble.
I
To
have
go
to
to
do
the bathroom. Nothing.
There is no bathroom.
There is no bathroom.
Then are you going to talk about how he was married to a Kennedy and then, had a an ongoing relationship with his
Gene, what is important in life? You got to know this one.
Is
to crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentation of the women.
Crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentation of the women.
Didn't he have a tank camp or something where you could go and drive a tank or something?
You know, when that pilot went down, they were probably looking for a chopper.
Get to the chopper!
Get to the chopper!
That's what it was.
And then occasionally, when you end up on Mars, you got to give those
Struggle
people
for air.
Yeah, you get left outside on Mars, and you got to give these people the air.
Come on, Cohagen, you got what you want. Give these people air.
There you go. Watch that one. No, maybe don't watch that one, depending on the young age. There's a lot of
I
stories to tell.
hope your ride to school went a little bit better with my terrible Arnold impersonations.
How about the whole bodybuilding era? Like when he was found.
That's when you get the pump, and it's very nice. And I like the pump.
Cover of all the
I
magazines.
hope you leave enough room for my fist because I'm going to ram it into your stomach and break your goddamn spine.
I hope you leave enough room for my fist because I'm going to ram it into your stomach and break your goddamn spine.
Shaw has all those magazines, I think, with he collected.
Arnold is numero uno.
Well, thanks for the text or email. I appreciate that.
I love running into his wife, too, because not only is she easy on the eyes, Gabriel, good catch, buddy, but she knows a lot about vacuums, daycare, dogs, kids, vacuum lady.
Like expert?
Wife and I had many conversations about quality vacuums. That's when you know you're really going places in your life, is when you're having conversations at a brewery with another human being about vacuums.
The quality of their vacuum?
Yeah. Suction rate, all that stuff.
Mila.
Spread.
I can't say enough about them.
Mila? Didn't you have a Mila?
I do. I have one, and it's the best. See? Vacuums.
All right. Enough about that. We'll get to some spring cleaning stuff, speaking of vacuuming, in just a couple minutes, plus some shine down. Don't go anywhere.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Start your day with Rock Mornings.
And now, a woman thinking about spring cleaning.
If one more idiot says spring means spring cleaning, I'll slap them with my Swiffer. It's finally warm outside and I'm supposed to stay inside to dust? Besides, the kids are home for spring break. I clean up the Legos and they dump them right back on the floor. Why can't they spend all day on their phones like normal kids? So yeah, I'll take a pass on cleaning this spring. Sorry, soap scum remover that gives me that slightly awesome contact high. I won't need you till summer. Oh, but wait, the kids are home even longer then. Fine, I won't clean at all and never invite anyone over. Problem solved.
And that was a woman thinking about spring cleaning.
It's here. Windows are open.
Well, we'll be by Friday, that's for sure.
Everything's dirty. I got paw prints all over everything. It hasn't been so bad the last couple of days, but when it snowed last week and everything was kind of mucky again outside, it was like, oh, God, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
I got to get in touch with my guy, Steve, and have him come over and do the windows.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not doing windows. I'm gonna pay Steve to do the windows and the screens, I think. Do the whole enchilada this year. 7 places, 7 things your guests notice that will make your place seem gross.
Okay.
If you're getting into the spring cleaning game. Obviously, these are going to be things that are out in the open. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Not the behind the stove stuff.
Although, by the way, they say the 3 most forgotten things are your fridge coils.
Like in the back, all the dust. Yeah, oh yeah.
Range hood filters and cleaning off your air conditioner outside. The filters there.
The bathroom, number 1 place. They'll look around while they're sitting there, and they will judge you.
Yes.
Toothpaste splatter on the mirror is a big one. Pimple splatter? Any pimple splatter on there? Any
Never.
zit juice?
I can't do that. I got to clean it
Hairs?
off.
Any kind of hairs in
That's
there?
the problem. There's dog hair. I clean it every week. vacuum up, but then by like
But
Wednesday, you're like, oh man, it's full of dog hair again.
Here's another one. This is easy to forget. Doorknobs and light switches, they get touched a lot. Mm-hmm. And so you start to build up skin and grease and oil and all that crap. So the area around them can start to look gross. They're touching them all the day, every day, all day. So, yeah. Dirty dishes.
Yeah.
Especially if you got like a huge sink full. Not if you got like a cup on the counter or whatever, but you can get away with it if it looks like you haven't cleaned up from breakfast, but a full sink of dirty dishes just sitting there. Dead giveaway. 7 things guests notice to make your place seem like it's gross. Old food in the fridge, especially if there's a smell. You get a bag of browning lettuce, moldy cheese. I think if your fridge is disorganized, too. Like, there's a full fridge, and it doesn't look organized because it's full. But then if you open it up and, you know, like the fridge in our break room, where there's just this sort of whatever, man.
What's happening? Why?
There's just no rhyme or reason to what's going on in there.
None of those things are happening in my fridge. I'm particular.
I think that is also another thing. If you go into someone's house and you open it up and you're like, why is there yogurt in 7 different places in your fridge? Why don't you have cheese in one drawer? Dust, another one.
Yeah.
Spots that are easy to clean. Tables, chairs, things like that.
I hate dusting.
Obviously, if you've got like a shelf and there's stuff on the shelf and you got to take everything off and dust it, what a pain in the ass. If everything is dusty, it means you tidy up, but you haven't deep cleaned in a while. That's what it says to your guests. 7 things that guests notice when your place, when they come over, it'll make your place seem gross.
Okay.
Dirty floors, anything dirty or sticky, grimy, pet hair,
of course,
paw prints,
of course,
foot, all that. Ugh. Sticky floors, though, the worst. And then last but not least, the smell, which is obviously easy to cover up. You've got some Febreze or some candles or whatever, but taking out that trash before your guests show up is always a good call. Putting an air freshener by your front door makes a good first impression, hits them right as they walk in.
One of those plug-in things with the little oil.
We got plenty of those. We got 2 of them in every room. I think.
We went into a bar in Madison when we were down there on Sunday, and I get it, sticky floors. It happens. I've been around the block. I know that. But this place had the stickiest floors of any bar I've ever been into anywhere. It was ridiculous. And we walked in and we were going to sit down and have a beer, and I'm like, yeah, we're out. I mean, it was so gross. They must have had a party the night before and thrown things everywhere, and then that was it. They just opened the doors back up in the morning because it was unbelievable.
Sticky floors are definitely
like crazy. So gross.
Spring cleaning. It's here. It's time. Lots of stuff to get cleaned up. Take that fridge, pull it out from the wall. Same with the stove. That space in between the stove and the counter where all the food ends up. Gross. You know what else gets a lot of buildup is like that drawer underneath. Because like if you're putting cheese on a pizza or anything that's on the stove is like dropping down into that thing. So, yeah. Sports coming up after Shinedown and Stan's Kid Dance.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find the daily podcast at rockmornings.com.
Shinedown on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene on a Workforce Wednesday. You know what to do, right? You go to the website, rockmornings.com, and you sign up. Tell us where you're working for your chance to win. Freebies, courtesy of the Sweet Stop and Sandwich Shop in Preston.
What's the oldest baseball park?
In America? Well, I would say Fenway. It was 1912. It was the year the Titanic sailed that they opened up Fenway, but there's probably one that's older.
Nope, it's Fenway.
It is? Okay.
1912.
You're talking about professional baseball league?
Yes,
or field, okay.
Opening day, April 20th, 1912.
Yeah.
Second on the list is Wrigley,
yeah.
1914, followed by Dodger Stadium. Now, check this out. So it goes from Wrigley in 1914 to Dodger Stadium in 1962.
Yeah.
That is a hella gap right there.
I don't ever want to see, and even though I hate the Yankees, even though I think their fans are garbage, even though I never want to go to Yankee Stadium, I think that tearing down Yankee Stadium, the house that Ruth built, was a travesty. I just think that doing that was just a... look, baseball is the one sport above all others where we really hold on to the tradition and the pastime of it all. And so losing that, and look, I get it. It was a crumbling, failing old ballpark, and you needed to update, and you can make a whole lot more money with a new ballpark and food and beverages and bathrooms and all that crap. But man, I will denounce my fandom of the Red Sox if they ever get rid of Fenway Park.
Well, and that's part of the list here is that these fields were there, but then they got redone, and so now it's the opening day. For instance, American Family Field, they have the opening day in 2001.
I won't have a problem if they build a second park that the Red Sox move to, and they leave Fenway as it is, as a tour, as a building, as a place to occasionally have a game, do some sort of, use it, but like if they tear it down and replace it, I'm out. I want no part of that.
Yeah,
that's
the list, County Stadium was built in 53, but then when they redid it is what they use as the official date on this list. So
the Bucks are on the road, and they finish up their 5-game West Coast road trip in Denver tonight at 8 p.m. against the Nuggets. As Gene was mentioning, Major League Baseball opening day is tomorrow at 2. First game is the Yankees and the Brewers, 2 o'clock on ESPN. Over on the pigskin side of things, the Giants have reached an agreement with Super Bowl winning quarterback Russell Wilson, a 1-year deal worth up to $21 million, including $10.5 million guaranteed. So he's moving from Pittsburgh to New York. 4-time Pro Bowl wide receiver Stephon Diggs and the Patriots reaching an agreement yesterday. 3-year, $69 million deal. Nice. That includes a $26 million guaranteed amount of money. Vikings apparently have not told J.J. McCarthy that he is their starting quarterback, even though they got rid of Sam Darnold. He said this week in an interview with the Up and Adams show on FanDuel TV, quote, "I'm happy they didn't because I try to earn it every single day, and I never want that to be given to me. It's such a privilege and opportunity to give me that chance, and I'm just going to make the most of it every single day." So Sam Darnold's gone. They're apparently not going after Aaron Rodgers, and everybody just assumed J.J. McCarthy was the guy, but maybe not. The reporter who captured Dan Hurley's viral expletive-filled rant following UConn's loss to Florida in the tournament last weekend has now received an apology from the school's director of communications.
The reporter that showed it?
So they're in the tunnel. The reporters are all in the tunnel. And there's a reporter in there, and he's got his phone out or whatever, and he captures Dan Hurley coming off the court and
being very angry
and saying the refs effed us, basically, and warning Baylor that I hope the refs don't F you as well. Hope they don't do that to you, Baylor. Well, the guy who caught the video and then posted it apparently was threatened by the director of communications from UConn, who said he would ruin his life if he didn't take the video down. Who are you, director of communications? Quote, "Just a quick and hopefully final update. Bobby Mullen and I spoke a short time ago during which he apologized for his behavior. I accepted it, and life rules on." That is from Queen City News reporter Joey Ellis, who posted on Twitter yesterday following UConn's 77-75 loss to the Gators. Hurley went on the rant after exiting the court in the tunnel. In the clip, you can hear Bobby Hurley say, "I hope they don't F you like they F'd us. I hope they don't do that to you, Baylor." Ellis, of course, captured the video and the audio of that, posted it on social media, and then the UConn director of communications, Bobby Mullen,
said, my guys are going to go after you.
Hey,
you're going to wear some
cement shoes. We're going to break your friggin' kneecaps, buddy, if you don't take that thing down. Hey. He threatened to ruin Ellis's life if he didn't remove the video of Hurley's rant about the refs, which, bro, the second it's online, it's over.
It's done.
You cannot scrub it from the internet.
Take it back down again.
Someone will get it like that. I mean, it just literally doesn't take more than a second. And now apparently this
communications director has
Bobby
apologized.
Mullen has apologized to Joey Ellis. So,
I didn't mean that thing about ruining your life.
Who are you again? What does the director of communications even do? So he's the guy that like controls the social media and the videos on the internet or something like that? Like, what is that guy's job?
And sets up interviews and has,
I guess, but like, what power do you have?
He must know people. Maybe he comes from a...
Now, you talk about Big Dom, the guy in the Eagles that's like a real, like, mobster-looking bro?
Hedgeman, directing an organization's internal and external communications, Brian. That's what happens.
All right. Ruined my life.
Speaking of communications, Joe Buck.
Yeah, tomorrow on the Brewer game.
First time in the booth since 2021, apparently, to call that game.
Sports on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. We've got some Nothing More and some saliva if you need something. Find us online at rockmornings.com. Don't forget to register for Workforce Wednesday.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Weekdays, 6 to 9.
Miss the good old days? Then head to the Retro Store, where nostalgia is always in stock. We've got Rubik's Cubes, Light Brights, Cabbage Patch Kids, Walkmans, iPods, Nintendo consoles, Atari, even Crystal Pepsi, and enough neon windbreakers to blind a DeLorean driver.
The Retro Store, actually called Goodwill.
Oh, man, that's mean. What product from your childhood that is no longer in existence, at least in a regular store, would you bring back if you could get your hands on it? Nostalgia.
I think you can still get them, but I remember that I really thought that my Light Bright was cool. When I got it for Christmas.
I'm pretty sure you can.
I think you can.
That's the one with the pegs, right?
It's the one with the pegs. I don't think you can buy them like...
I think I saw one at Five Below.
Like, is it new? Is it a new Light Bright?
No, I legit think I saw one at like Five Below. Like maybe not the original, but a Light Bright.
A new version of it?
Yeah, it wasn't called anything different. It was still a Light Bright, but it was maybe a smaller version.
Mm-hmm. So maybe I guess that stood the test of time.
You love the Light Bright, huh?
I did. Well, as a kid, obviously.
What was your favorite thing to make with the Light Bright? Did it come with instructions on how? Because like the Legos now have to come with instructions, like how to build the actual thing that's in the box.
Came with they were black sheets, and then they'd have different dots and different colors, so you would make the thing, like the butterfly or whatever, based on the color-coded pattern that would come with it.
Okay.
So you didn't really make stuff on your own. It was more like you popped out a pattern.
A poll of adults in the U.S., not too many of them, only 2,000, found the average person would pay 32% more for the products they once loved to be brought back to reality for their favorite brands. The study found that 2 out of every 3 Americans would pay extra to have their favorite retired product revived. 2/3 of Americans.
Like a clothing brand or something?
Anything. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's, Nintendo, the original, which you can still buy at like a gaming store, I mean, like some classic versions of that are still around. The one thing that I had as a kid that I always loved, and I know you can still get them, because all this stuff is available now. People are really investing in the retro market, but I had a tabletop Pac-Man game, and it looked like the one at the arcade, but it was a tabletop version and it had a very little small... And
Don't they have those?
They do.
Yeah. I
could get one if I wanted, but I remember hours and hours of playing that thing when I was a kid.
Shakey's Pizza.
Ooh.
And the buffet.
The birthday. That was always the thing for me, was getting the birthday. Like, you'd get the thing in the mail, and everybody was excited to get... Like, even my parents would look forward to going to Shakey's Pizza. And it's like, my parents didn't look forward to anything.
Yes.
They were miserable.
And speaking of tabletop games, because they would have the sit-down machines where you do that.
The old Pizza Hut. I mean, if you could bring back a Pizza Hut, you know what I mean? The old school.
You mean...
with the red cups and the tabletop, Miss Pac-Man and... the hanging lights and all that stuff with the personal pan pizza that came out all sizzling hot.
Shakey's?
There is there?
I don't know if it's how we remember it, but apparently there are some in California.
People in this survey say that over half of them, 55%, said retired products are more valuable to them than anything brands can currently offer. I told you, this is my idea with McDonald's. I think it's a genius idea.
They bring back every...
If I was in McDonald's, like upper echelon management, I would make a McDonald's somewhere in the center of America, right? So it's equidistant for everybody, right?
That has everything.
That has all of the items that have ever been on the menu. And it's the only one. So if you want to get whatever item it is that you loved, McSketty or whatever the hell it was from the 80s, that they no longer serve and you can't find it anywhere, It's at this McDonald's.
So you don't go there to get the quarter pounder. It's
No.
not served there. It's only these.
I think it's
nostalgic-
only the retro stuff that is no longer available on the menus. And you can do the same thing whether you're Taco Bell. I mean, like Taco Bell's been reintroducing stuff from the decades, right? They've been doing that decades menu.
Yes.
So, yeah, food is... You know what I would bring back, even though I don't smoke? Marlboro Miles. Do they do that anymore? You smoke. Bro, I had the most awesome Marlboro Miles windbreaker jacket in like the early 90s. I banged so many girls because of that jacket.
Where is
Do you know
it?
how many?
Do you have it?
No, I wish it was red and it had a hood and it had, oh God, it was awesome. It was absolutely fantastic. But Camel Box, Camel Cash, and Marlboro Miles,
Not a thing.
incentivizing smokers, I love it. Bring it back.
How about the plastic?
I thought this was a free country. I thought we could do whatever we wanted. Yeah, it's killing us. We know. We know it's bad. You know what? So is alcohol, drugs, and everything else we do.
The plastic Halloween costumes with the masks.
I think those are, again, you can buy those again now. They're someone's...
With the real...
Not the originals, obviously. But, like, if you go to any good haunted museum or whatever, they're going to have a whole bunch of them in there. But those were always fun.
How about sitting in the back of the car looking at the cars coming at you?
Yeah, the backward seat.
And everything.
The backward seat?
Yes.
Yeah. The car with the back, you know,
that would turn-
or
yes.
the truck that had the seat that was like sideways behind the driver's side seat. And you were like facing the side of the truck, like wedged in behind your dad while he's driving, you know? The only nice thing about that is he couldn't really reach you, you know what I mean, for punches. You'd have to, like, you could
go
escape.
sideways. You could duck down this way.
Jarts, obviously, are a thing that I love. They have a version of them, but they're not the original poke you in the skull jart. Many respondents on this survey naming old products that deserve a revival, including the classic Atari, Sega, and Nintendo consoles, Crystal Pepsi, Banana Nesquik, BlackBerry phones, iPods, Jolt soda. Jolt's around, right? You can still get Jolt. That came back. Bubblegum jeans. Those what were those shoes that women the rubber? What were they? The ones that women wore, and they were like they look like jelly shoes.
Jellies.
Didn't chicks like go crazy over that?
That was a thing, but I don't know. I wouldn't if those came back. I wouldn't wear them because they were uncomfortable and sweaty back then. But it was. But
I just know that those were a hot item for a while for chicks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say the Marlboro Miles stuff, man. There was some stuff in there that was, and it was good stuff. Like that jacket was not like cheap promotional item jacket. I worked hard. I smoked a lot of smokes for that goddamn Marlboro jacket. I love that thing. I wish I had a picture of me in it. I look good in that Marb jacket.
No photos exist?
No, dude, I didn't take photos back then. I would say like like the old school Walkmans that we had, the tape Walkmans. Those were fun, and I'm sure you can pick those up at like a Goodwill or whatever. But yeah, over half of the users in the survey say they would also like to buy secondhand products from their favorite brands, even if they're not the latest and greatest. But yeah, we're all about nostalgia, man. We want to go back, simpler times.
Well, some of it's around still. I mean, can you still get a Zima, for instance?
Yeah, remember they reintroduced them, like Clearly Canadian. They put it back
bracelets, all that stuff's still available. It's just looks different.
It's Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Bad News, Happy Music coming up a bit later on. Got a bunch of texts about retro stuff. We'll get to that here after Saliva.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
That is Saliva with Click, Click, Boom, and no big surprise, you start talking about nostalgia. Everybody wants to get involved. Heidi sent an email, said hypercolor shirts. Remember those?
Yes.
The color would change based on what your temperature was?
How sweaty you were?
Wow, or if if you put it in the dryer, it would come out a different color.
Yeah.
Garbage pail kid cards, banana seed bikes, those are still around.
Oh,
candy cigarettes, you can't have candy cigarettes anymore.
Yeah, you can. They're out.
Are they?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I thought they eliminated those.
No.
Think of the children. We can't have the children smoking. Jason said real sugar Mountain Dew in the glass bottles. Yeah. Whenever I would go pick up Pepsi. No, this is the old school version. This is the from the 60s version with the actual original recipe, not whatever's in it now. That's not to say that I don't enjoy a Mountain Dew every once in a while, but completely different flavor.
But they do retro releases and stuff.
Right. I mean, you can get them in the glass bottle, but it is in the original recipe. Whenever we would go pick up Pepsi products for an event or whatever, they got a TV in the lobby and they're running the old commercials, and it's the old time, like, gold miner guy, like, with the, hey, take a little sip of this. Chris texted in and said the old school NFL starter jackets from the 90s. Those things were pretty pimp.
Like members-only jackets?
No, they're like a big windbreaker, but they were very colorful, and they had a lot of big logos all over them. You'd know them if you saw them. And Aaron texted in and said, my son sells vintage clothes. Those Mile clothes are worth a lot of money. Hell yeah, they are.
Vintage clothes?
Yeah, my wife works with a girl whose fiance or husband or whoever he is. Anyway, he does pop-up shops. And I told you this.
Yeah.
And he's selling Stone Cold Steve Austin shirts. I had all these effing shirts in the 90s. All of them.
The original, not remade.
The originals. Bought them through the magazine, sent in the card, and got them in the mail. That's how old school this was. Yeah, and or get them in at shows or at the mall or whatever. Yeah, and they're selling for like hundreds of dollars now. I mean, they have to be in good shape. Like Champion sweaters, Bugle Boy jeans, Z Cavariccis, all those things that we grew up with in the 80s and 90s. But yeah, I can't get anybody by my effing Simpsons crap. Yeah.
Poshmark and stuff like that for clothes too. My friend just got Gerbeau jeans off of Poshmark.
I remember we had a kid. His name was Mark Berry in junior high, and on the first day of school in junior high, it was a brand new school. We were the first class, and they just built it.
Like open up
seventh
the doors,
grade, open the doors, and we were the
school
first seventh graders. So we were going to be the first real graduating class because it was 7th through 9th grade. Like there were 9th and 8th graders there, but like we were the first that started there and graduated. And Mark Berry on day one in 7th grade wore these Z Cavariccis. No, they were They were like almost like MC Hammer pants, where they were big at the top and then they tailored at the bottom. And I was like, I thought he must have been a millionaire because I was like, how the hell do you afford pants like that, man? My mom's buying my pants at Sears, and he's getting his at some millionaire store. Mark Berry, never forget him. Bad News Happy Music is coming up. If you want to get in touch with us, rockmornings.com, talking about nostalgia and retro crap.
But you can't get anymore?
Things that we'd like to see come back, make a return. We'll continue to read your texts and emails, and of course, we'll also pick a winner for Workforce Wednesday. Sign up for that on the website.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Weekdays from 6 a.m. until 9 a.m.
Tripping on a hole in a paper heart. Stone Temple Pilots. They'll be at Maple Grove Venues in West Salem, June 14th. Opening bands to be announced. Go to mgvrockconcerts.com if you want to see STP, Stone Temple Pilots, on Saturday, June 14th at Maple Grove Venues in West Salem. Happy birthday to Bad Baby, or Bobby, or Barbie, or whatever the hell her name is, the Cash Me Outside girl.
Catch me outside. How about that?
She's 22, and she's on OnlyFans, and apparently she made like $75 million in a year.
Yeah.
Selling pictures on OnlyFans.
Also a musician.
Oof, yeah, if you want to call it that. Cash Me Outside, how about that?
22.
She's 22. Keira Knightley is 40, the actress, Pirates of the Caribbean. Bennett Like Beckham, Pride and Prejudice, bunch of other stuff. Leslie Mann is 53, and when you're married to Judd Apatow, you get to be in all of his movies. She's the drunk chick from 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Harvey, let's get some fucking French toast.
She wanted to get some French toast. She plays Katherine Heigl's sister in Knocked Up. She's also Paul Rudd's wife, and This Is 40.
Yeah.
Let's see her boobies in that movie. James Iha of the Smashing Pumpkins is 56. Michael Imperioli, 59. Sopranos. Jennifer Grey, 65.
Look, this is not a phone call. There is an intruder, male, Caucasian, possibly armed. Certainly we're in my kitchen. Yeah, my name's Bueller. Look, it's real nice that you hope my brother's feeling better, but I'm in danger, okay? I am very cute, I am very alone, and I'm very protective of my body. I do not want it violated or killed, all right?
She, of course, was Baby in Dirty Dancing and didn't get put in a corner. And it was also Ferris's sister in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Martin Short, 75. Only Murders in the Building, right?
Oh, this is too much. Wheel of Fortune. Give me a break. I couldn't be more excited, I must say. This anticipation, it's making me mental.
Long time ago for that one. Ed Grimley on SNL. Steven Tyler is 77. Aerosmith frontman, not touring anymore. Not singing anymore, right? Got up on stage and did some karaoke not too long ago, apparently.
Well, that is a lot less pressure.
Yeah. Diana Ross, the legendary Diana Ross, 81. James Caan, born on this day in 1940. He died in 2022.
You look like you came from the North Pole.
Exactly where I came from. Santa must have called you.
Oh, yeah, sure. He just got off the cell phone with me.
You did?
So, go on.
Go on with what?
Well, are you going to sing a song or something, or can I just go back to work?
James Caan, born on this day in 1940. And as we mentioned earlier today, Live Long and Prosper Day, because Leonard Nimoy was born on this day in 1931.
I have been, and always shall be, your friend.
Live long and prosper.
And prosper.
Oh, man. Spock.
Best friends, best dude friends, man friends.
Unspoken love.
Human and alien friend.
Vulcan. Are you out of your Vulcan mind? 1976, March 26th, Thin Lizzy releasing their 6th studio album, Jailbreak, featuring the title track, Jailbreak. Not to be confused with AC/DC's Jailbreak. Two totally different songs. Also on that one, their other huge hit, The Boys Are Back in Town. Thin Lizzy. On this day in 1980, as we mentioned earlier, Van Halen dropping their 3rd studio album, Women and Children First, featuring Everybody Wants Some, and The Cradle Will Rock. They did pretty well for themselves, those guys in Van Halen. Their next album was also very popular. 43 years ago today, 1982, groundbreaking ceremonies taking place in D.C. for the Vietnam Veterans Memorial, a pair of 200-foot black granite walls with the names of Americans killed or missing during the Vietnam War. Never been there, gotta go.
Saw it in the pouring rain last summer.
Awe-inspiring. There's so many incredible things in D.C. to take in when you're there visiting, but you absolutely must go to the Vietnam War Memorial. 1986, Tom Hanks and I think it was Shelley Long, The Money Pit. Anybody who's ever owned a house and had to deal home projects can relate to that one. Maybe not the size or the scope of the problems they had, the big, huge hole in the house.
Tongue-in-cheek takes it to the next level, but still.
1995, NWA founder Eazy-E, real name Eric Wright, died of AIDS at the age of 30, only 3 weeks after he was diagnosed.
Easy is his name, and the boys coming straight out of Compton. It's a brother that'll smother your mother and make your sister think I love her.
Eazy-E. Just heard from Stone Temple Pilots, Tripping on a Hole. That song was on their 3rd studio album, which came out on this day in 1996. Tiny Music, songs from the Vatican Gift Shop. 1999, the movie Ed TV in theaters, Matthew McConaughey. If Shaw was here, I'd remind him that Liz Hurley was in that. She looked pretty damn good. Till McConaughey fell off the table while they were trying to have sex on TV. Killed her cat. Well, didn't kill it, but... And just 1 year ago today, 2024.
We advised the entire Key Bridge in the harbor. I advised to hold all traffic from coming to the bridge. I advise again, the entire Key Bridge has fallen into the harbor.
Units responding from rescue alarm I-695. Be advised, the entire Key Bridge has now collapsed into the water. The entire Key Bridge has now collapsed into the water. Proceed with caution.
Came into work that morning, and I was like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
The Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore, Maryland collapsed at about 1:30 in the morning after it was struck by the container ship Dolly. 6 people killed. I believe it was guys that were working on the bridge at the time, right? A replacement bridge expected to cost about $1.8 billion 1 year ago today. It's Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. We've got bad news with happy music coming up, the friggin' sports as well. And we'll pick a winner for Workforce Wednesday. What do they got to do to win?
Just click on rockmornings.com and sign up. That's it. It's free.
It is free. We'll get to some Sublime here in a couple of minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Start your day with Rock Mornings.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. The Olympics in 2032. 7 years from now, the Summer Olympics. Where are they going to be? Do you know?
Is it here in America? Is it America? No, it's definitely not America. I can see from Barcelona. London. Not Paris again.
Well, it's funny you should mention Paris. What was the big issue in Paris?
The river.
The poo water, right? Mm-hmm. It was really infected with poo.
Well, they
different
redid
color.
Their infrastructure. They spent tons and
billions
of
dollars.
Yes.
And it was still full of poo. And they were having a poo in, right? Weren't they getting the French people to go and poo in the water because they were mad that the government wasn't using that money on real problems in France as opposed to the Olympics?
Trying to make the water clean.
While the 2032 Summer Olympics are happening in Brisbane, Australia. What's in the water in Australia, Gene?
Probably, by the way you're leading me into this, I'm going to say poo, but I'm thinking about, yes, animals that will eat you. Is that it?
Yeah, there are crocs there. There's no doubt about it. And there's been a few removed in the last few years. Yeah. I caught my first croc in the Fitzroy in 1982, just shortly after we'd started here. And that had just eaten a farmer's dog, and he was a bit upset about that. And this is all within the recreational area of Rocky. So something needs to be done about ensuring that people can still recreate in that area.
7 years away from the 2032 Summer Olympics in Brisbane, Australia.
Mm-hmm.
But they're worried already about the croc situation in the river.
Oh, crikey.
Especially for the rowers, I guess. That's the real issue.
I would think there'd be more than just crocs. Isn't that where they have, like, piranha that can eat you? That movie scarred me for life, by the way. Or other little fishies and things that do bad stuff to you?
Earlier this week, media in Queensland already starting to raise concerns about events that will take place on the Fitzroy River. According to the Daily Mail, saltwater crocodiles are seen in the river frequently. Honestly, if I...
Dude, that would take the Olympics up a notch.
I would watch a lot more Olympics if there was crocs in there.
That's what I'm saying.
I got to be honest.
Like, not only are you the fastest rowers in the world, but you're
Maybe they get a gun. Maybe you can give the rowers a gun, right? Or...
They stop rowing and then
Maybe while they're rowing, we're throwing raw chicken in on the side, so the crocs are coming to the shore to avoid interacting with the rowers.
Kind of like Frogger, you know what I mean? Like, you got to row real fast, but you also got to avoid the crocs.
How about we give them depth charges? You know those things where you just sort of like a grenade and you boom.
Yeah. I don't think that...
No.
It's going to disrupt their rowing.
Australia has already held pre-Olympic rowing camps on the river. Concerns over man-eating reptiles cruising around the rowers have been downplayed by officials, including the chairman of the organizing committee for the 2032 Games, Andrew Liveris. He said, quote, "There are sharks in the ocean and we still do surfing. This is can do, not can't do.
There you go.
Please flip the mindset here. Creatures below the water, that's a bit kind of Hollywoodish." Hollywood didn't invent crocodiles in the river, man. The river crocodiles are in Hollywood because they exist in real life.
I get the point, though. There's surfers that are out on the open water competing in the Olympics, and there could be possibly, you don't net the fish and sea creatures away from them.
I'm just saying, give those rowers some guns, or have maybe there's a new sport they can invent where there's the guy in the front that's stroke. That guy, he's got like an AR or something. He's up there with a 50 cal.
The boats a certain way to where it has like.
Can you imagine?
It's like knives.
Some guy's ahead in the race and the freaking crocodile crawls up into his canoe. And he just jumps out.
Not crawls up, but more like bites
it or bumps into it and knocks him over. Next thing you know, you got a frenzy. This thing's rolling over and just ripping this guy apart. Ah! Live on NBC.
Sean Paul. So sorry.
I would tune in for that, honestly. I'm here for the car crash. That's why people watch NASCAR a lot, right? It's because they love that the big one. They collected 14 cars at Talladega. It'd be the same thing. Crocs tell all their friends, hey, dude, you got to come up river, man. 2032 is going to be lit. Lit. You're going to be full of people. It's going to be a feeding frenzy. Get your ass up here. Where are you at now? I'm down south. Well, get up here. We got people in the water.
Plus, they're probably got national pride. So maybe they only go after competing teams. They leave the Australian rowers alone.
Yeah, maybe.
They can tell their own.
Tell those filthy Americans not to come over here. Try to win all our medals. 2032. I hope it actually happens. Because honestly, like, how often in life do you get a chance to see something like that? You're watching it on NBC and all of a sudden, oh my God, it's a crocodile. Like a big ass one too, like Lake Placid. Kind of mutant croc. Swallows the whole thing, one big bite. The friggin' sports is coming up. We'll get to that after Sublime. And we've got bad news, happy music to get to as well.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find the daily podcast at rockmornings.com.
To be the man, you got to beat the man. Space Mountain. Oldest ride in the park. Still got the longest line.
Now what?
I've spent more money in my lifetime on spilt liquor than you've spent on your house. Woo!
What?
The Nature Boy, Ric Flair.
Yeah.
Having a hard time holding these Gators down.
You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun, and I'm having a hard time holding these alligators down. Woo!
You know who he is. Dirtiest player in the book. And right now, a bipartisan bill has been filed in the North Carolina Senate.
Come on.
That would earmark $500,000 to study the feasibility of creating a professional wrestling Hall of Fame museum in the state of North Carolina.
They're spending $500,000 to look at the feasibility of building a museum?
They're
Why don't
calling
you just build the damn thing?
They're calling it the Ric Flair Act. Woo! Because you can't just make things happen. You got to waste money
You got to
first.
have $500,000 to study whether that would be a good idea?
Somebody's got to get paid. You got to waste some of that money, right? Flair, of course, the Nature Boy, has had a 50-plus year career in professional wrestling, including bouts all up and down North Carolina, claiming the world title multiple times over the years, moving between wrestling organizations. Woo! A local celebrity in North Carolina has lived in Charlotte for many years. And right now, Senate Bill 404, the, quote, Ric Flair Act, is an act to remember iconic combatants throughout fostering learning awareness and interest in wrestling. It directs $500,000 to the North Carolina Department of Natural and Cultural Resources to study the matter. The agency would be expected to deliver a report to the state lawmakers by the summer of 2026. The sponsors of the bill are Senators Jay Chaudhuri, a Democrat from Wake, Danny Britt, a Republican from Robeson, and Ralph Hayes, a Republican from Mitchell. One of the guys said the bill, quote, celebrates professional wrestling's cultural and historical ties to North Carolina. He said he grew up watching professional wrestling broadcasts on WRAL in Raleigh. Our shared cultural heritage in this state is college basketball, NASCAR, and professional wrestling. Professional wrestling still hasn't gotten the recognition it deserves. There's apparently at least 2 other professional wrestling museums in operation today, one in Iowa and one in New York.
Oh, okay.
So North Carolina,
just build it. They will come, or they won't, or whatever.
I don't know why you even need to study it, bro. It seems like a home run. Every time you hit that ball, it's out of the park. You kidding me? Do it before he dies so you could have him cut the ribbon. He ain't got many years left, let's be honest with you. I mean, I don't think Flair's going to last too much longer. But
And apparently John Cena called him out the other night on WWE Raw on Monday.
Cena better watch out.
At WrestleMania, I make history by winning a 17th champion, and I finally force you to forget the name of the fun machine, jet flying, woo Ric Flair. You will forever say the name John Cena.
No, we won't.
And Rick says, they've been trying to get rid of the woo for 50 years. The woo ain't going away, and neither is Ric Flair.
Damn straight. Damn straight. Woo. Pass that act.
Well,
bipartisan. How many things can we come across the aisle and agree on? Ric
Spend
Flair.
$500,000 studying whether we can build just build the damn thing.
Even those liberal Democrats are willing to spend that money. Woo! On wrestling. Woo! Hell yeah. You want to get reelected in North Carolina, you better support anything that has anything to do with Ric Flair. Woo! Bad News, Happy Music is coming up in a bit.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Weekdays, 6 to 9.
You're about to enter a beautiful, exciting, wonderful new world.
A cockroach living in your nostril.
Now that's just nasty.
Add in some haven't pooped for 30 days.
Poop is raining from the ceilings. Poop.
And sprinkle in some hashtag Florida Man for flavor.
Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man quits his Burger King job, steals all of their chicken nuggets.
It's bad news.
Bad news.
With happy music.
Let's rock.
Add this to the file. Nobody said criminals were smart.
All right.
Hashtag Florida woman.
Mm-hmm.
Facing charges for robbing a Dairy Queen at gunpoint. How much money do you think you could really get from a Dairy Queen? I mean, security's probably at an all-time low, right? Not a lot of armed guards.
Not armed
at
guards.
DQ, like that friggin' place you sent me in Illinois. Uncle Nick's.
Uncle Nick's Euros.
Yeah, with the armed guard at midnight.
Well, it's a sketchy neighborhood.
I'm just trying to get a gyro, bro.
Yeah. You got one, too. I don't know if maybe they just it was ease of, location and just, they got to have some cash, and maybe she didn't care how much.
44-year-old Allison Fetting flashed a gun at a Dairy Queen near Fort Lauderdale, told the cashier to give her all the money in the register. Apparently, the register either didn't open or the woman refused. So
she didn't get anything?
Allison grabbed what she could from the tip jar, which was $1.50. All that work for $1.50.
Don't even take the tip jar then.
It happened back in February of last year. They arrested her the very next day, but they just charged her on Friday. Not quite sure what took them so long to file the charges, but she's already in jail for several other armed robberies and for some drug possession stuff. Set to be arraigned for the $1.50 theft sometime later today.
DQ. Happy tastes good.
$1.50, huh?
Again.
Yeah.
Nobody said criminals were smart.
Did she get a blizzard on her way out? Or
you can't even, you can now. I think blizzards
cone?
Blizzards are only 85 cents from now until like April 4th or 5th or something like that. I don't know what size. I'm assuming it's a small one. So yeah, for $1.50, she could get one blizzard.
And then tip.
Here's a little of that tip money back. A little bit. When we got married and got home after all the wedding and the post-wedding and the reception and all that stuff, it was, I don't know, it was late. Wasn't really tired, though, kind of wired, right? It was a long day and had, been drinking, and we're still, kind of floating around on cloud nine. Didn't have a lot to do the next day. So and someone had told me at our reception that they had bought us bacon as a gift. And it was wrapped in one of the presents. So we spent the next couple hours in our living room opening up presents because I didn't want the bacon to go bad. And then the next day, we sat around and opened all the cards. And money, checks, all that stuff. While there's an employee, probably going to be a former employee at this point, at a hotel where some newlyweds were staying, and helped himself to the wedding cards.
Out of their room?
Newlyweds left gutted after a hotel staff member stole the money from their wedding cards. Danielle Thompson and Mark Brody, tying the knot in Scotland, left their cards and gifts from loved ones in a special post box before taking them home to open a couple of days later, right? Let the dust settle. Overnight hotel worker Craig Harrison, caught by security cameras opening up envelopes, taking out the money, and then taping them closed again, was arrested by police.
Whoa, dude.
Lovely couple. He's wearing his full Scottish getup, the kilt and the whole 9 yards, the tartan and everything.
Yeah.
Got the kid, the flower kid with the whole getup as well. She's lovely. Harrison pleading guilty to the theft of $1,200. Asked to pay $1,600 in compensation to the couple and a $1,300 fine. The hotel refunded the couple $2,400 of their money. Danielle, who works in catering, said, "It was just such a horrible shock. Our wedding was lovely, but we never got to enjoy the start of being married. It was very upsetting. The cards from my dad and granddad weren't there at all. So he must have effed them up when he opened them up."
Right, because he's only able to. That's what I was thinking when you told me that. He was taping back the ones that he could if you could open them well enough to see it.
Some people just use a sticker. You know what I mean? They don't even lick the envelope or use...
Or just, piece tape at the end. But then other ones where he really mangled the envelope, he said, just forget it.
We had to go around and ask all our guests how much they gave us so we could tell the police. That felt very difficult.
Yeah, that part's very uncomfortable.
When people ask us about the wedding, we want to talk about how great it was, but this overshadowed all of that.
Years from now, you'll be all right.
Happened in August of 2000.
Story.
Oh, years later, it'll be funny, but August 2023 is when they got married, opened the cards. A couple days later, no money inside. The first few, you're probably like,
okay, all right.
Whatever. They probably got us a gift. Right. Thank you for the card. And then about 10 in, you're probably like, all right, something's going on. Where's the cash? Where's the money? Where's the money? Where's the money, Lebowski?
Funny that none of these people have given us any cash. But then you do have to make the phone call. Hey, Brian, thanks for coming to our wedding. It really meant a lot to have you there. And we were opening up cards, and we were sensing a trend that there's no cash.
You would know right away when you, like, mom and dad's card, right? Probably.
So how much did you give us anyway?
Hey, Ma, I know this is a weird question, but what did you and Dad put in the card?
Well, and that one wouldn't be even so weird. I could ask my parents way earlier than I could ask a friend or a that came to the. How much did you give me? $4,000. Yeah. I gave you $4,000.
Don't leave your cards laying around, apparently. A newly introduced bill in Texas may require people to provide an ID before they can buy sex toys online. Introduced by Senator Angela Paxton.
Why?
The wife of the Texas Attorney General would criminally charge online retailers for selling an obscene device without verifying the buyer's age. Is there like a epidemic of kids running around with dildos in the streets of Texas?
Happening?
Are there 12-year-olds that are running around with vibrators that we don't know about in Texas? Is there something going on? Is there some sort of problem in Texas with these? Or they would have to use third-party age verification services that use public records or other reliable sources to verify the purchaser's identity and age. Owning a credit card, which already requires a holder to be 18 years of age, would not be enough.
What?
I don't know what these people... Who like all of a sudden wakes up and is like, you know what my mission is going to be? Making sure that anybody that wants a dong
online
in Texas is going to be of age.
Is that a dong on a dome?
No, it's an online dong.
It's not even, because it's not. Leave them alone, probably. I can't imagine it's that big of a problem.
What are we doing?
What obscene devices are being sold at Target?
Texas legislators have apparently been trying to limit access to sex toys for their constituents for years. In 2024, Hillary Hickland, a freshman member of the Republican House, introduced a bill that would ban retailers in the state from selling sex toys unless they file paperwork to become sexually oriented businesses, effectively forcing stores like Walmart, CVS, and Target which also sell vibrators and other sex toys, to take those products off the shelves. Think of the children.
So get rid of those butt plugs. Cover those up.
That's what we're worried about? We don't have any other problems? So what if somebody wants to go in there and get a 30-incher?
I just got compared to a 30-inch dildo.
Thank you, Shaw. Thank you, Shaw.
I don't think it's they think there's a problem with kids having them, but they just don't want anybody to.
They don't want anybody to have them.
Yeah. You shouldn't want those things.
Right. Oh, yeah. That's obviously
the
what
problem.
it is. No, it's just they don't want some kid to be in a store and see a penis.
I don't even know if it's that. I think they just don't. Well, what with the online, they just don't want anybody to have that.
Hey. Hashtag Florida woman accused of leaving 2 kids in a hot car while she stole over $80 worth of groceries from a Walmart. I don't know, man. Groceries are expensive, Gene. Yeah. Sebastian Police Department responding to a Walmart after receiving reports of a woman who was accused of replacing the barcodes on grocery items. Kids, wait out here. Mommy's got some work to do. The arrest affidavit against the woman says the loss prevention associate observed the woman walking to the self-checkout where she was seen scanning the items without the correct barcodes. Catherine Gordon is the woman in the story, then walked past all points of sale without any attempt to pay full price for the items. Police say the merchandise recovered during the incident totaled $83.67. Arrested
Do you have
her.
a history of criminal activity?
Oh, I'm sure. Arrested her outside of the Walmart, refused to speak with the officers.
Does she, though?
The loss prevention associate at the scene told the investigating officer that he had mentioned children being inside of her vehicle. When officers went to the vehicle, they found 2 kids sitting in the vehicle with the windows completely rolled up, allowing no airflow into the vehicle. Approximately 82 to 85 degrees outside at the time. Yeah.
So she was putting like the barcode for a can of corn on a pork tenderloin or something?
Yeah. Basically. And last but certainly not least, this is in Louisiana. And if you're not going to bury this woman under the jail, put her on the ship and send her to Mars. People like this do not belong in society. I don't know how anybody can make an excuse for this kind of thing. Because to go to an airport and to want to get on a plane, you have to be of sound mind to purchase a ticket online,
get there,
pack up your stuff, all the things that go into that, right? Now, if you just show up and you're a crazy person, you're running around, got it, mentally unstable. But a woman is now facing felony animal cruelty charges after authorities say she intentionally drowned her dog inside an Orlando airport when she was denied travel with the pet.
Yeah, I think this happened in December.
It happened a while ago, and I didn't really want to get to it, but it's just so over the top. Allison Agatha Lawrence brought her white miniature schnauzer named Tywin to the Orlando International Airport back in December of last year, intending to fly internationally to South America. Again, another layer of mental stability, getting a passport, knowing what's going on, all that stuff. This isn't just some crazy person showing up at the airport. Footage shows her at the ticket counter with the dog for about 15 minutes. She was told she lacked the proper documents for international pet travel. Shortly afterwards, investigators say Lawrence entered a nearby women's bathroom and emerged without the dog. A cleaning staffer later discovered the dog's body in a restroom trash bag soaked with water and surrounded with pet items. A necropsy later confirmed that the cause of death was drowning. The arrest warrant charges her with aggravated animal cruelty, a third-degree felony punishable by up to 5 years in prison. Efforts to pursue extradition are underway. Arrested and charged back on the 18th of March. And again, if you're not going to bury someone like this under the prison, put her on the ship and send her to Mars. They don't belong in society.
So she got on the plane and traveled and then came back?
Yeah. Awful.
Yeah.
I mean,
the inconvenience of it all. Isn't that what it was?
So she went in the bathroom and drowned the dog.
Her dog, because she couldn't travel with it. The inconvenience of it all.
Unbelievable. Bad news, happy music. On Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene, we will pick a winner for Workforce Wednesday.
Sure will.
In just a couple minutes, get to all of our texts and emails. We'll do that after Lincoln Park.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com. Call.
Hello.
Email.
I tried emailing you.
Text. So many ways to check in with us. Check. We rely on you guys for traffic updates, requests, and all sorts of other stuff.
Check this out.
Rockmornings.com. Hit the website for all of our contact info. You can also register to win contests like Workforce Wednesday on the website. Your chance to score freebies from the Sweet Stop and Sandwich Shop in Preston. Our winner this week is?
It is Adele Peterson.
Adele.
Thank you for letting us know where you're working, everybody, by the way. I appreciate that. Adele is running an apartment complex.
Hello. Probably never heard that before.
Probably. Fowler and Hammers listening. Thank you so much. Performance Foods across the street from us. We appreciate that. Dairyland Power and Deviceners programming and
Hello from the other side.
Pacemakers and defibrillators. This one, that's Hunter's
important.
working on those.
All right.
But thanks. And Adele, you're the winner this week. Apartment complex.
Always think of that stupid SNL episode. And the girls all kept singing hello.
Yes.
Ashley texted in about the crocodiles in the river in Australia for the 2032 Olympics, saying plenty of time to create gator-proof rowboats. I said, or you could just give them some guns. She said they need a turret. That would be kick butt.
I think this is a whole new sport now.
Like some kind of spotter's tower on the side on the coast.
Shooting at the rowers.
Gator, 3 o'clock.
This is the Olympics potentially in 32 in Australia, and they got a gator problem. Croc problem, actually.
Erin texted in earlier and said that her son sells vintage clothing. Those Marb Miles clothes are worth a lot of money. I said, if he's got one of those red windbreakers from the early 90s, let me know. She said she asked him, but he hasn't gotten back to her yet.
So you'd be in a lot of money, more than your Simpsons merchandise, if you just kept that jacket.
Oh, I love that jacket. I had a bag, too, like a hockey bag as well. I mean, Marb Miles, I was going in the trash to get Marb Miles. Like, you'd see someone's, pack in the trash, and you'd pick it up. Because if it had the miles on it, you wanted them.
You could get a bag. And
that's how addicted we were to Marb Miles. I don't know about you, but I was.
You got a bag and a jacket.
You would look at all the discarded packs of cigarettes. Ugh, that was the jam. Somebody named Dallas texted in and said, hey, I love all the retro chat this morning. My daughter is 4, and she loves the Ghostbusters, old school 80s Ghostbusters, wants to be a Ghostbuster for Halloween.
Hell yeah.
And I still have all my old toys from the 80s packed away. She'll be so surprised this Halloween when she's able to wear the original 80s Ghostbusters
Build her
gear.
one of those cool Ghostbusters.
I think he's got one from like the original playset
yeah.
from back in the day. That's what it sounds like. That's awesome, Dallas. Joe texted in and said, Smoking Joe, Camel stuff and Marb stuff, still smoke, but can't get any stuff anymore. Yeah, again, they used to incentivize smoking. It was great.
You got a jacket and a bag that you don't have anymore.
Bro, they had a catalog that they would give you at the store, and it had all this awesome stuff in it. And I'll be honest, like, I went in between the two smokes. Like, I started out with Marb Reds, like most people do. And then eventually I worked myself up to Camel Wides. I was doing Wides for a while.
And then
I went to Newports, I think, I went to Marb Menthol. Anyways, like, the Marlboro Miles stuff was far superior to the Camel stuff, in my opinion.
Yes.
When it comes to the swag you would get. Jason texted in earlier. He was talking about the real sugar Mountain Dew in the glass bottles. Also said the shredded chicken at Taco John's. I don't remember that.
I don't remember that either.
We didn't have a Taco John's where I grew up. We had Taco Bell. Somebody else, Al, texted in the old school Evel Knievel toys. Yeah.
Oh, it looks like you can get some of this stuff on eBay, too.
Oh, I'm not surprised. I've never looked for it. I mean, whatever. Today was the first time I've thought about it in forever. I mean, I don't even remember the last time I thought about that Marb jacket, but it was awesome.
Barbecue set, Zippo, poker set, belt
Zippos,
buckle.
Yeah, you can get Zippos.
Tent, camping chairs.
That's what every smoker needs is a tent.
A hat, a lantern.
A tent to go smoking in.
A little table that you could roll out, like a wood that rolls out and you could pack it up into a little bag. Take that with you.
That red windbreaker thing was...
Dart set, Brian?
No. That was the only thing that spoke to me. I wanted that, and I got it. I smoked so many cigarettes for that. The other thing that was really nice was I worked at a convenience store, so, like, you'd see Marb Miles all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, people would...
discard them, and then you would take them so you could get that jacket and that sweet...
Hell yeah.
Swiss Army knife.
Thanks for tuning in today. Have a great rest of your hump day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.